They say you can still hear it at night. Somewhere along the dark backroads of Prince George's County, Maryland, a low, snarling grunt, hooves scraping asphalt, and something heavier breathing. They call it the Goatman, not a man in a costume, not a misidentified animal, but a thing half human, half goat with a rusted axe in its hand and fury in its eyes. It doesn't just wander, it stalks, it watches, it waits. The earliest whispers trace back to the 1950s, but it wasn't until the 70s that the terror truly took hold. Around the rural town of Bowie, stories began to surface of mutilated dogs. Torn apart, limbs scattered in the woods, blood trails vanishing into the trees. At first, people blamed coyotes or wild dogs. But some of those who lived closer to the edge of town said they saw something else. A figure, 7 feet tall, hairy, misshapen legs like a goat's, horns, and an axe that gleamed even in the moonlight. Local kids gave it a name, the Goatman, and they dared each other to look for it near an old bridge on Wattsford Road, a crumbling structure deep in the woods. They said if you went there after dark, you'd hear the clack of hooves approaching. If you stayed long enough, you'd never come back. There was one case in 1971 that changed everything. A dog named Ginger went missing. Its owner, a local man, found it the next morning, what was left of it. Torn to shreds, its remains scattered near Fletchertown Road, and witnesses claimed they saw a large creature near the scene that same night. The local paper reported it. People started locking their doors early. The woods felt different. Then came the screams. Teenagers out past curfew said they heard something howl from the trees, something that didn't sound human, but not fully animal either. A cry that made their skin crawl and their legs run faster than they ever had before. They say the Goatman hates trespassers. That it was once a man, maybe a scientist, twisted in an experiment gone wrong. A lab assistant at the Beltsville Agricultural Research Center, some say, who merged his DNA with that of a goat, but something snapped. And now it roams, enraged by what it's become. Of course, there's another version, one that says the Goatman is much older than science. A creature born of the land itself, an ancient guardian turned violent. That long before roads and bridges, something with horns and hooves haunted this soil, punishing those who disturbed its forest. Drivers along Wattsford and Fletchertown still report seeing a tall figure on the roadside, especially on foggy nights, standing just beyond the tree line, watching, never chasing, just waiting. In 1985, a group of teens claimed their car broke down near the woods after spotting a strange figure dart across the road. They stayed in the vehicle for hours, too afraid to step out. They heard something tapping the back window, softly, rhythmically. When morning came, there were deep scratches down the trunk and one long, curved horn imprint in the dust on the glass. A hiker in 1998 went missing for 2 days. When they found him, he was barefoot, dazed, and refused to speak. The only words he whispered were, "It has hands, but the legs are wrong." In 2007, a local hunter swore he shot at something large in the trees near Glendale, said it walked on 2 legs. When he returned the next day, the deer carcass he'd left behind was gone. In its place was a pile of broken branches stacked deliberately. At the top was a single goat hoof. Most recently, urban explorers who ventured out to the old bridge said they heard breathing behind them. Heavy labored, like something that hadn't moved in a long time, suddenly awake. One said he saw glowing eyes in the dark. Another claims they were chased back to the road, hearing hooves thundering behind them the whole way, yet when they turned, nothing was there. Locals still warn kids not to wander too far into the woods after dark, not because of wolves or snakes, but because of something that walks like a man, smells like a barn, and doesn't belong to this world. Some say the Goatman is just a story, a regional legend, a trick of fear and imagination. But fear like this doesn't grow from nothing, and legends don't leave claw marks on cars or blood in the grass. So if you ever find yourself driving the roads around Bowie, Maryland, and you see something tall by the trees, something hunched and watching, keep driving, don't stop. Because by the time you hear the hooves, it's already too late.